What's up, guys? How's everyone doing tonight?
What's going on, everybody? How we doing?
Where's everyone watching from? We're just going to let people come in because we're seeing everyone come in. Yo, Dre, welcome. We got Benjamin here. Good morning from Victoria, Australia. My wife and I will watch this morning. We've been married for almost 21 years, 11 children? 11 children from 18 down to 9 months. Wow. Someone's getting busy over there.
Y'all busy.
Thank you, Annabella. What up, K24 Nick? Salute to the chat. What's going on? Harrison Flammy Vlogs. You're watching from Florida. Hello, Darius.
We're filming from Florida.
Oh, yeah, we're filming from Florida.
Are we allowed to say that?
Yes. Hello, I finally got to see your man. Yes, he's made it back here, okay? He's made it back by popular demand because all of y'all wanted to see more and more of him. We got CP the artist in here. Hey, guys, what's going on, CP?
CP was goody, bro.
We got New York. Harrison Family Vlogs, New York area. Hello from California. This chat is definitely running behind. Hello from California. Hey, Tim, how are you? Yes, guys, hit that like button. Subscribe to the channel. We are going to be we're going to be discussing a few things before we actually open it up to you guys. This is the first time I'm doing a call-in show, and I got the best one to do it with me.
But I will hang up on you.
Yes. What did you say if there's any bozos?
Yeah, if you wildin', I'm hanging up on you.
If you wildin'.
Ain't nobody got time for that. Be respectful. That's all we ask, all jokes aside.
Yeah. Harrison Family Vlogs, the bro needs to make an appearance from time to time. Actually, speaking of that, what? You want to say it?
No, that.
Okay. So I think we are going to make this a regular series, a regular live on my channel. We're going to call it Courageous Conversations with my hubs, Mr. Barrett. And we wanted to do this as a podcast before, but this is actually even better because now we get to interact with you guys. We'll make it a call-in show. We're going to figure it out. But I think that this is going to be a regular thing. And I think we're going to call it Courageous Conversations because that's what we wanted to name it. That's what we wanted to name our podcast.
Really quickly, Courageous Conversations comes from our pastor, Pastor Raymond Ramos.
Yeah, shout out.
So I want to let everyone know that we got that phrase, Courageous Conversations, from him. He holds a marriage conference. It's usually on Zoom. He also does marriage groups. They're free to everyone every Saturday. I'll have my wife put the link in, but he's the one who kind of coined the phrase Courageous Conversations. So I just want to let that be known that Pastor Raymond, good looking.
Yeah, and he was the one that really helped us, especially in our engagement and our
Pastor Gus too, as well.
Yeah, Pastor Gus too. Oh, thank you so much for the super chat. We got, hey guys, Merry Christmas and stay warm. Yes, we're warm in Florida. It's pretty warm down.
Absolutely. I had on shorts and a t-shirt today.
Yeah, he was playing basketball today. Awesome. So we are going to talk about, so this past week I was on a mirror show on the Lapeef Network. If you guys haven't checked it out, I will link it down in the description for you guys after on the replay. But we were talking about if it's beneficial for men to get married in today's age. And we were talking about wives, if women know how to be good wives. So James and I, after that show, we decided to talk about it, have a courageous conversation about it. And we really want to expand upon it. I don't think I did a pretty good job. I don't think I did a good job answering that. But we want to clear some things up.
I think you did a good job.
Thanks, babe. Also, we got a super chat. Thank you, Harrison Family Blogs. Thank you, Dre, for the super chat. Really appreciate it. So yeah, we're gonna talk about marriage. We're gonna talk about marriage as it relates to men today.
Right.
And we're probably gonna jump into some other things because we were talking. It led to multiple conversations.
Yeah, we're gonna just let the conversation go organically.
Yeah.
Right. Whichever way it goes. Yo, B from the Shy, I see you. We're gonna see how the conversation flows. Whenever my wife is on anybody else's channel, like, we always have a conversation afterwards surrounding the topics, right? Because she'll ask me what I thought or what do I think about the topic at hand, right? And the thing is that my wife and I, we don't always agree on everything, right? So when she asked me, she said, hey, do you think that it's beneficial? She said, well, what do you think? Do you think that it's beneficial for men to get married in today's day and age, right? And when I look at the general, right, in general, because we know that the exception is not always the rule, right? Our marriage experience thus far is not the same as everyone else's marital experience, right? So when I'm looking at it as a whole, when I'm looking at it objectively, right? No, I don't think it's beneficial for men to get married, right? Especially dealing with today's modern women, right? How the laws are against them, right? You got all these, I'm no lawyer. I don't know the correct terms, but I know that it's not in men's favor when marriages go south, right? On the flip side of that, though, I do encourage marriage, right? I feel that people should get married, but I also don't think that everyone should get married, right? Marriage is not for everyone, right? Because they, one, don't even know how to be a husband, and two, because they don't know how to be a wife, right? And so we had a conversation surrounding that, right? I have friends that I love dearly, right? But sometimes they say, yo, I want to get married. I want to get married. I want to get married, right? I want a marriage like yours, bro, right? And I'm like, yo, first of all, it takes work, right? If you're an athlete, right, you got to work at your craft, right? If you're a musician, you got to work at your craft. If you're an attorney, you got to work at your craft, right? Marriage takes work just like anything else. You understand? And I feel that a lot of people, they want the title, right? They like the title of marriage. They like the title of husband. They like the title of wife, right? But they don't know what's entailed with that title, right? And that's just where I stand on that.
Yeah, and when I was talking about it on Amira's show, I was talking it more of the benefits, even though, yes, I mean, ideally, I would love for everyone to get married. I would love for everyone to have happy, healthy relationships, but we have to take it out of this, like, fantasy world, right? I think that we have to bring it to reality. And while we're always going to promote marriage, I'm always going to promote marriage on my channel and striving to get more people married and successfully married, right? We also have to keep in mind that not everyone's working with the same pieces.
Right.
But what do you think are some of the benefits of getting married today, if there are any?
Well, there's definitely benefits of getting married, right? Like, I think it's always beautiful to have someone to do life with, right? Was it Ramsey, the guy that does that family financial thing?
Dave Ramsey,
Dave Ramsey, right? He does this financial class. I think that if if your marriage is solid, right? So the Bible talks about, hey, if you're building your foundation of that of sand, right, it's weak, right? But if you have a foundation of solid rock, right? So if you have a solid marriage, there's definitely some financial benefits to being married, right? Um, my wife spoke about legacy, right? I think it's important to have family, to have legacy, right? I think if you want to get married, the ultimate goal would be for me. Uh, Ultimate goal for me is to have children, right? To expand on my family, right? Just because you don't have children doesn't mean you don't have a family, right? Some people can't have children, whatever. We're not getting into all that.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is that if your intent is to expand in your family, have children, right? Be
fruitful and
fruitful,
multiply.
right? Be fruitful and multiply, right? Like the Bible say, right? Then you have a caregiver, right? You have someone to nurture your children, right? Not saying that men can't nurture children, right? But traditionally speaking, women nurture children, right? So I think that that's definitely a benefit, right? When you get sick, right? Someone to take care of you when you get old, right? When I'm in the bathroom and there's no toilet paper and I need somebody to bring me some toilet paper, right? That's definitely a huge benefit. You know what I mean? So there's definitely benefits to getting married.
Yeah, I think so too. I would say, one, when we got married and like doing life with someone, right? Like, it's not, people think that marriage is about love and like that's what's going to get you to the finish line, but we have to choose to love each other every day. Love is a verb, it's an action that we have to put. So when we were taught in our relationship in our course, right, we were taught that it's death to yourself every single day. It's putting my husband above myself and above my needs, even though I want to, sometimes I don't want to make the coffee, or sometimes dinner is, hard. But these things are duty, I think, too. And we can hold each other accountable, right? Like, marriage exposes the truth about each other. Like, you can't hide things between us, and we're very transparent in our marriage too. I think that was one of the like the fundamental building blocks of our relationship. It was always based in transparent conversations.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that that's incredibly I think that that's very important. A lot of people don't build their relationships on that, and it can get a little touch and go there.
Right. And I don't know, like the word duty, right? I mean, I know it's a real thing, but I don't, like, me personally, I don't be like, yo, my wife, these are your duties.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Be submissive and be, here's your duty list, right? Like, nah, that's not how we operate in our house, right? Because there's just certain words that I guess trigger me a little bit, right? Because I don't want to seem or appear as if that whatever, right? But I think it's important that you have these conversations, right? And you express your expectations in the beginning, right? So like my wife and I just had a conversation the other day, right? And I'm like, yo, my responsibility is to make sure that you and the baby always have a place to live. There's light in there, and that, y'all don't need for anything, right? That's what, that nobody comes into this house. By the way, if you come into this house, I got a surprise for you. Right. And but my wife's, and what I expect from her is to make sure that the baby's taken care of, right? Because I work a lot of hours.
Yeah.
Right? Sometimes 12, 13 hours a day.
Mhm.
right? I work 5 days a week, right? So it's like, yo, these are the things, right? I don't expect my wife to make my coffee in the morning. I don't expect my wife to cook me dinner, right? She does it, but it's not that I expect it from her, right? I don't walk in the door like, yo, where's the food at, right? It's
Mhm.
something that she just does, right? And I think that she finds joy in doing some of these things for me,
Yes.
right? And I appreciate that. Yo, like the other day on Facebook, my man's was like, yo, who do you think needs more validation, right? Do men need more validation or do women need more validation? And my answer was, I feel that men need more validation, right?
Mhm.
And I'll explain to you why I feel that men need more validation, right? We're trained to be providers and protectors of our family,
Mhm.
right? That's what men, that's our ultimate objective, right? To start a family, provide for them, and protect them. Every once in a while, I just want to have somebody tell me, yo, you're doing a good job.
Job.
You're doing a good job. You're doing a good job, right? Women, on the other hand, I think they look for more attention,
Yeah.
right? It's
Mhm.
not necessarily validation. They're looking for more attention, right? So I like as a like for me, I feel validated when I come home after a long day's work and my dinner is cooked and is prepared for me,
Mhm.
right? So
Yeah, I agree. And like that's another thing too. You get a sense of satisfaction and happiness when you can, bring in the money and you're like, okay, my family is taken care of. And there's a pride that comes with that.
correct.
And for me, there's a pride when I can make a good dinner and he's doing his happy dance like this, right? And I can tell that he's enjoying the meal. And there's some days that we're all going to have off days, absolutely. Like, I tell him ahead of time like, hey, tonight I have to switch up dinner, or can you pick something up or something like that. It's not always like it's we as much as you try to give 110%, sometimes like it'll lack in the day. Would you
Well, it's
agree?
not. I wouldn't say that it's lacking. Like sometimes you don't feel like cooking. Like
That's
let's keep it 100, right? Sometimes she don't feel like cooking, and I know that, right? But I gotta allow her that, right? She cooks for me more than she doesn't cook for me, right? So I'm not. So when she's like, "Yo, can you pick up some on the way home?" or like she'll be like, "Yo, are you like hungry? Hungry?
how hungry
How
are
hungry are you?" Right? Because I know that she's probably tired of something, right? And like, yo, like like that's fine. You know what I mean? Like you don't gotta cook for me every day.
yeah.
But I tell you what, it feels mad good. Like when my friends be like, yo, let's go out to eat. And I'm like, nah, my wife cooked for me. My wife just made me some salmon. I'm about to go home and bust that down. You know what I mean? So
Thank you so much for this super chat, Darius. Let's see what he has to say. I remember someone telling me that I must vet women before choosing to marry one, even if I get ostracized, crucified, and canceled for. Right now, I'm learning to be brave when that happens. That's so good. That's so necessary.
no, I agree. I think so we were talking about this today also, right?
Yeah.
I think it's very important for men to vet women,
Yeah.
right? I think it's very important for women to vet men, right? Maya Angelou has this quote that I love, and I like. It's like, yo, when people show you who they are, believe them,
Mm-hmm.
right? So watch the behaviors, right? Does the audio match the video, right? Because I could talk all this good stuff, but like I'm a bozo at the end of the day, right? Like it doesn't equate. You understand what I'm saying? But I think that's super important, Darius, that you vet women, right? And if a woman who is looking for what you're looking for will appreciate that.
Yeah.
I feel,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like, yo, I betted the hell out of her. Right. I spoke about it. I spoke about it last time. I was like, yo, you trying to get married? Yo, what's your credit score? Right. You got anything past due? Are you a wanted criminal? Do you owe the IRS any money? Right? What am I getting into here? Right? Because I do. Right? Yo, Rich, what's cracking?
Wait, where's Rich?
Nah, it's my man's right there.
Oh. No, I think it's so important. I think it's so important to vet when you're dating. And I think I talked about this on another live stream. It's so important to see people in different seasons as in life too, right?
Right.
Like we go through this honeymoon phase and this lovey-dovey phase, and that's good, but that's mostly lust, right? You get over that, and then the real. Do you want to say something about that or no? Okay, so but that's mostly like that goes away, right? And then you're left with that person, and you know, when we first started dating, we both weren't like the richest people.
I had no money. Don't sugarcoat it. I lived in a shelter. Right? I lived in a shelter. Well, we don't got to get into that, but I had no money. We spoke about that last time. I'm not going to get into all that again. I lived in a shelter when I met my wife, right? And that's why I say we can't like use our experience. We can't use our experience towards like, we can't use our experience as the rule.
Yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Because like she was like some of y'all be using the word unicorn. Right. And I feel you, AJ to God. That's why I was like, I don't know, I'll be anyway. But like when I met my wife, I had no money. I was living in a shelter, right? And she was still able to, see me for who the person that I was, right? She talked about it with Ruslan. We built this IKEA marriage, mm-hmm. right? In my mind, though, I knew my potential, right? So like I was vetting her like I already had all this stuff. Right? Yeah. Like if you would have met me, you would have thought I was rich. You would have thought I had money. You would have thought I had my stuff together, right? But I was like, I always learned like, live as you want to be, right? So I'm like, this is what it is, right? And, over the last couple of years, I've accumulated some things, right? God has blessed us, right? God says, a man who finds a wife finds good thing and gains favor from the Lord, son. I got favor. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And it's because I try to do the right thing and, I try to live right, even when I'm like a little crazy, funky in my mind. But I say that to say it's important to vet, right? Mm-hmm. And, make sure that a woman isn't coming after your money, right? Fresh and Fit, they said one time, discovery is better than disclosure. Right. Mm-hmm. I kind of like that. Right. I'd rather someone find out what I have than me telling them what I have. You know what I mean? That was a gem that they dropped that I liked. So.
Hold on. Okay. So we have two people in what is called the back room. I'm going to get to you in just a second, okay? I see you guys waiting there. Thank you so much. If you guys want to join the conversation, I'm going to link it in the chat. And if you want to call in, we're going to take some calls in a second. But before we jump into the calls and everyone, tell me, do you think that modern women know what it means to be a wife? Oh, he has to think about it.
I like to think before I speak, right? I don't want to just blurt the first thing that comes to my head because that's usually wrong, right? But here's the thing, and I like looking at words in their. I like to dissect words, right? We're living in modern times, right? Mm-hmm. So therefore, all women are modern, mm-hmm. right? My wife, Rebecca, believe it or not, is a modern woman with traditional values. You understand what I'm saying? Let me repeat that. My wife is a modern woman with traditional values, So back to this question I was asked in the beginning, right? Do modern women know how to be wives, right? Remember, Mr. and Ms. Barrett will hang up on you if you do both. Oh, I appreciate you for me. Right? Do we asked, are there any benefits to man being married? And I said no, right? That was a general answer. Overall, do modern women know how to be wives, right? I think that is an individual answer. And let me rephrase that, right? So what might be a wife for me may not be a wife for you. You understand what I'm saying? So it's a, all right, you know what? Let me stop sugarcoating it. No. 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 When I first met my wife, she was not wife material.
Yeah, it was not.
She was mad annoying. Right? My wife is mad annoying. Right? I had to chop and screw her mind a little bit. I was playing like operation with her brain, like, yeah, we're gonna get rid of this. You don't need that. Let's put a little of this in there, right? So
oh my gosh, that's the funniest thing I've heard.
No, I don't. No, I don't. And right, and here's the thing, right? And let me just not say no and sound like a crazy misogynist or whatever, right? Let's look at the example, right? Let's look at the example, right? Whenever I go on my my news feed, or whenever I go on to Instagram, right? Since I've gotten married, I've had to unfollow a lot of stuff, right? Only to keep me sane. I remember I was even myself, I was posting some crazy stuff one time at one point. Like I was wilding, right? I was a little twisted, right? My mans hit me up, somebody that I respect. Like this is what KS would consider a high value man who happens to be a dear friend of mine. He hit me up and he's like, yo, bro, I gotta unfollow you, man, because you're wilding. Like, I love you, but I can't follow that, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then like when that happened, up until that point in my life, no one had ever checked me like that, right? Like, oh, you're doing this, you're doing that, right? But no one had ever checked me before, right? And that was the first time that I really had to look. And I'm like, yo, the content that I post on my page actually matters. So I've had to unfollow a lot of stuff. But I say that to say that, like, whenever I'm going through some people's stories, or whenever I'm going, I'm just on my feed, like I'll be looking, I'm like, yo, this is what you want the world to see, right? So when you're looking at an overall view, I'm like, yo, my wife would never do that. A wife would never do that, right? Like, yo, you could post pictures at the beach that are tasteful, right? Like they don't have to be like thirst trap pictures, right? And I'm just like, yo, I see that stuff and I'm just like, damn.
He won't even let me wear like or the bikinis that he's like,
no, she want to wear a thong.
I didn't want to wear a thong.
You were like, oh, can I wear a thong like her? I was like, for what? No.
Yo. Oh my gosh. And it's funny because I respect him so much. Like, I respect him, obviously.
What the hell you want to wear a thong for anyway? She was like, look at that girl. Can I wear a bathing suit like her? I was like, no. I curse. she made me swear.
Oh my gosh. No, but it's really about respect. I think that being a good wife is, what does it say in the Bible? Wives, submit yourself to your husband. Husbands, love your wives, right? There's a difference between what we require as far as love. Men require respect, and that's how love is shown to them. Women require love, and that's how, like you were talking about before, right? Like we already spoke about that. But that's so necessary. And I think that modern women don't really know the building blocks of how to be wife material, how to submit to her husband, doing the
Well,
doing
it's
the
deeper than that, right? It's deeper than that, right?
Woo!
So
Hey,
it's like,
Riva.
yo, what up, River? I put my wife onto you, River, because I be creeping. I'll be like, I'll go on YouTube and I'll be like reaction to Rebecca Barrett because my wife got some haters, yo. she's the start of a lot of people's freaking like enemy origin story, right?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Anyway, but the hell was I talking about? I used to do drugs, guys. So forgive me. For real. I used to do a lot of drugs.
Wait, I literally forgot to.
Me too. Next.
Yo.
If anybody remembers what I was about to say, feel free.
Yo. Okay, let's. Oh, snap. Okay, let's bring. Colette, I'm gonna bring you on to the stream. Let's see if this works.
Facts.
I'm so bad at this. Okay, hold on. Can
Hi.
you?
Hello, hi guys.
Hi.
How are you?
Good.
Oh, well.
Good. I'm so glad. I'm good. I'm actually in the middle of putting giving my kids a bath, so I'm gonna be real quick. But
That's not
Rebecca,
you upstairs making all the noise, right?
no. But Rebecca, I caught you probably a few months ago. I think it was a video you were doing about like bad advice women give to you were doing like reviews on TikTok and stuff like that. I was like, this is cool. So I loved yeah, so from then I was like, okay, I love this. And you were actually married. So I was like, finally, like finally some people are giving advice and they're actually married. And
Yeah.
on my channel, I'm married and I talk about, just the positive side of marriage and just how much it's what try to give the blueprint to it, because marriage is not for everyone. And I've been married for 11 plus years. So I try to thank you. So I try to, try to debunk some of these. I didn't even know this manosphere thing even existed.
Girl, me neither. I was like, I posted a video and then I turned to my husband. I'm like, mad guys just watched all of my videos. I had no idea.
That's crazy because I started my channel trying to like reach women, younger women, because I got married when I was like 25. So I was like, let me try to reach those women there. And I looked at my analytics, and my analytics was men, like 90% men, 10% women. And I was like, what am I supposed to do with it?
Exactly.
But,
girl, I feel you.
Can I interject? Can I interject for 1 second?
Yeah, go ahead.
And I think I could be wrong, right? But like based off what you're saying, based off what my wife is saying, right? I think men want to be married, right? Men want a wife, right?
Okay.
But they want to marry someone who's not going to screw them 7 years from now, 10 years from now, and take everything that they worked hard for, right? Like men want that, right? I think we all have a yearning to be with someone, right? Not that it's like codependency or anything like that, but I feel that like it's in our nature to want to be with someone else,
Right.
So I think that's why men gravitate towards these women's channels, right? Because it gives them hope that like, yo, good women do exist, right? Like, look at her, look at Colette, look at Rebecca, right? Look at such and such, right? So most men want to be married, but they want to marry someone who's worth marrying. You understand?
Right. it's so funny you say that, because it's like when you hear men say, yes, I do want to be married, but then when they get in the circle of other men, I don't know if it's like a macho thing. It's like they shun the word being married. It's like
Mm-hmm.
behind closed doors, if they're talking to someone one on one, yeah, I want to be married. But it's like when they get with their other guy friends or stuff, it's more so of they more so spur the negative part. Like you said, I don't want someone to take me for all my money, and it's like that's not the worst thing that could happen to you in a marriage, to be honest. You know,
Mm-hmm.
it's it could be so much worse. But I'm glad you said that. But I feel there's just been like such a it's just been such like a echo chamber that's started, and it's given so many men that have not even developed into knowing what it means to be a husband, this voice of, oh yeah, I'm so much better, just this voice of, um I'm so much more of a man and I deserve more, but really they don't even know what it is to be a husband in the first place. But I feel that the manosphere has given those ones this voice of, yes, you do deserve better, you are more than what you are, but really in reality they have not practiced it. you know
Hmm.
that's what I've kind of observed. But what I really wanted to do, ask you, both of you guys, was what have since you guys been married, what have you guys experienced to be the sacrifice that you had to make to be a husband, and the sacrifice you had to make.
To
To
be
be
a
a wife,
wife.
yeah. You want to start?
No, you can go first.
I feel like I haven't. This sounds kind of weird, but I don't think so. I definitely sacrificed my career if that was something that I would sacrifice, but I don't. I think I was done with that at the end. Uh, when my dad passed, it opened up a lot of things for me, in the sense of we had just gotten married, and I desperately wanted children after that. I think we both were like sitting there like family's so important, and when someone leaves this earth, you don't take your car, you don't take your watch, you don't take anything else. You leave a legacy that's around you. So for me, I don't know if it's so much of a sacrifice. I don't know. Do you feel like it there? Did you sacrifice a?
Well, I want to say there's a couple things, right?
Yeah.
One, no, I never made my wife give up her job,
Yeah. Yes.
right? I just want to let me clarify that. I would much rather a second income.
Well,
Okay.
we do have a second.
No, we have, you understand what I'm saying? I promote a two-income household all the way, right? But I've been blessed where my wife has a choice,
Mm.
right? Or like whatever the case may be. Now, as far as sacrifice, the only sacrifice, like, and keeping it all the way funky, right?
Mm-hmm.
The only sacrifice that I've given up is that I've chosen one woman to sleep with.
Yeah.
You understand? I'm like, yo, I,
Right.
party's over. You understand what I'm saying? Like that's the only thing that I feel that I've sacrificed. Like if I could keep it
Right.
all the way 100, right? It's
Right.
not. I don't think that there were any other major sacrifices because again, like when I met my wife, I didn't have anything, right? She was
Right.
with me like when she was with me from the beginning
Mm-hmm.
of my new chapter of my life. So anything that I acquired, anything that I achieved, right? I attributed a part of that to her, right? Because
Right.
my meeting my wife alongside with like committing my life to Christ and all those things, right? She made me want to be better,
Mm.
right? So You know what I mean? Like
Mhm.
I can't, you know, I can't go on men's trips and I can't, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
I
I
don't.
mean, like we sacrifice little things every day, right? Like sometimes, sometimes, you know, I clean the whole house and then James comes in and it's like a whirlwind just happened. So I sacrifice some mental energy. And he says the same thing about me. You know, sometimes I'll be doing the Tourette's thing and I'll be wilding. And he's like, y'all, you need to calm down. So we make sacrifices every day. Like I say, marriage is death to yourself every single day. And I think that sounds really bad, but that's what, like, it- you know,
I wouldn't use that terminology.
I
I know what you're saying, but I wouldn't use like, oh, it's death to yourself. Forget all your hopes and dreams. Right? I'm not.
I
No.
think
Go ahead. Go ahead.
no. So I'm gonna be real quick, but I think when I would say to give an example. See, I gotta go.
okay.
Sorry, guys.
So
But thank you for letting me come up. But one thing I would say that is a sacrifice. It's not a bad thing, but you do have to sacrifice friends. Not all
yeah,
friends could come. You do have to sacrifice time. You know, your time
Right.
is not yours anymore. And those are not bad things. So to say
yeah,
sacrifice is not to say, oh my gosh, it's a bad thing. It's like now you're about to have your baby, you're going to have to sacrifice sleep. But
Right.
to
oh
sacrifice that sleep, you're going to be able to bond with your baby, feed your baby, take care of your baby. Would you say that sacrifice is a bad thing? No. So when I
exactly.
ask that question, is not, I don't want you guys to think that it's a bad thing, you know.
Hmm.
It is a change, but anyways, I would love to have your husband on my channel because I love his perspective.
I
So
know.
Yeah,
hopefully,
reach out to my wife. I'll let my wife I reach out to her on Instagram and let's figure
okay.
out a way to make it work.
Yeah,
Oh, thank you.
and put your YouTube in the chat. And guys, go follow Colette on her channel. I think it's what's the rest of it? It's Colette
Top.
over the top. That's what it is. Okay. Yeah, go follow her. Go give her a like. Go give her a subscribe. Come on, let's build this channel up.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you, Colette.
Thanks, Colette.
Thank you. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye.
Hold on. Before you bring on the next person, I remembered, right? We were talking about, remember I had that drug moment? We were talking about, what was I talking about? I just remembered. It just hit me, right? Damn, I forgot again. What are your examples?
Oh yeah, what are your
Right? What are your examples of a wife, right? Is it your grandmother, right? Is it your grandmother that was in the house, right? Or is it Modern Housewives of freaking
Beverly Hills?
Beverly Hills, right? What do you aspire to have? All right, that
Mhm.
was it.
All
And
right, guys.
also something that Colette said, right? Let me just touch on what Colette said.
Sure.
Also, she was saying how men get in the groups and they're like, "Oh, I don't want to be white, or I don't want a wife, I don't want this." I think a couple of my boys from work are here, and they'll tell you that I've said at work, because a dude will be like, "Yo, my wife this, my wife that," and I'll be like, "Yo, bro, you're not married, son, right?"
Mhm.
Like the word wife comes with a lot of responsibilities. Like you gotta earn the right to say my wife. Like before I'd be like, yo, my wife this, my wife that. But it wasn't until I got married that I really appreciated the word.
Mhm.
Right. My man Lil Ray said that to me one time. He was like, oh, you know, wife, because I think I had you programming my phone as wife, something crazy like that. He was like, yo, that's a big responsibility, man. Like you can't just be throwing that word around. And it's not until a couple of years later that
You
I
understand.
understand. So
Guys, I'm linking the StreamYard if you want to call in. Um, if you want to call in, we can add you. Thank you, Colette. I'm gonna add CP.
CP the artist.
CP the artist, you're on
Salute,
there.
salute.
Thank you
This is
for waiting.
Yo.
no, this was a pleasure. James, like I want to hear more from you, brother. Like you're a real man. You're a real one, man. Like
I
you are a
appreciate
real one.
that.
You are, and that story about you being in the shelter and meeting Rebecca, that's like some Tyler Perry novel, like, or movie. You, you, you know, like you need to sell that to him. You know, look, I'm here in Atlanta, man. You know, we could probably link him up. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, let's do it, man. I'm with it, man. I just I just I just want to be on like on the production crew or something like that. I'll be holding a mic, a boom mic. No, but go ahead, man. How you doing, CP?
Yeah, I'm doing great. Thank you for having me. I wanted to ask you guys this, right? Like,
Mhm.
I just can't. How much is how much is it important for mental health to enter into a courtship before you get serious? Like, a lot of us, we suffer from anxieties and um, a lot of things that we don't even want to talk about. And then we enter into marriage and then we ruin marriage and blame marriage like it was at fault, when knowing that we had past traumas that really affected our marriage from even working. What do you guys say about that?
Um, I'm gonna answer first if you don't mind.
Mhm.
I think that's super duper important. And I don't think, that's such a great question because I don't think that is asked of people often enough.
Mhm.
Right. So like I'm in a 12-step recovery program, right? And we have to do step work. You understand? That's what they call it, right? And it's really about, so the analogy that I like to give is that we have all these wounds, right? We have all these wounds all over our body, right? And they're infected, right? But when you want to clean an infected wound, you have to open the wound back up again,
Mhm.
right? You have to
Mhm.
open that wound back up again. You got to get in there and get all the stuff out. You understand? So a lot of people are holding on to all
Yeah.
this stuff, and they got PTSD, right? They got mommy issues, they got daddy issues. My brother touched me, my sister touched me, the
Mm.
pastor you understand what I'm saying?
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
it creates this, it almost creates like a blocker in the mind where you can't get past a certain level, right? So my wife, I'm gonna ooh,
You can.
I can share
Yeah.
transparently. So one day I was joking around with my wife, right?
Mhm.
And we were joking, but I like strapped her down and I was
Mhm.
started licking her face, right? And it
Mhm.
it triggered something. You
Mhm.
understand what I'm
Mhm.
saying? And it was a total buzzkill in the moment,
Mhm.
right? And then we had to have a conversation around that where she shared with me some experience that she had, yada yada yada. So I think, I feel like I'm rambling at this point, but I
No.
think I think it's so important for people to be okay with themselves. I think people need to do their own individual self-help
Mhm.
before they even try to go into marriage,
Mhm.
if that makes sense. A
Yeah.
lot of people are looking to relationships and marriage as a scapegoat, right? That's the next high, right? That's the next thing that's going to take them out of themselves, right?
Mhm.
And I think it's so important for people to really sit with themselves, do the work, clean out all that stuff, right? Get good with God, get good with themselves before they even try to get into a relationship.
Yeah, and you also mentioned something in recovery as well, right? You can try, you can move to as many places as you want, but you take your, what is
Wherever
that?
wherever you go, there you are.
Yeah, wherever you go, there you are, right? Oh, Big A Customs, what's up, Big A? Um, so yeah, I, we had to deal with a lot. We had to deal with a lot and have a lot of these courageous conversations before we got married. We actually had a lot of financial conversations, a lot of conversations around sex, pornography. There's things that we were holding on to, right, that we needed to release. And so mental health and getting guidance and therapy, I think, is very important on an individual basis. But I also really suggest to people who are going through the engagement process or thinking about getting engaged to go to premarital counseling, because a lot of that flushes out some of the things that we didn't want to talk about ourselves, right?
Mm.
Like we pushed a lot of things to the side. I even told him, I remember telling him, like, I don't know why we have to do like 6 months to a year of premarital counseling. Like, we're good, you know? And then like
And
3
then
months
like
later.
no, like after the first session, we both realized we were not good at all.
Yeah.
You
Right.
understand? And but yeah, man.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
does that help? Does that help?
Oh no, no, that's perfect because me now at 45 years old, I'm rediscovering things that I've had that my triggers. You know,
Mm,
I mean, I was married once for 8 years. I remember being in the church right before getting married, and we had a small wedding, just two witnesses, and that was it. And I
mm-hmm,
went to I went into the chapel, and I was alone. I got there early, and I'm just praying like to God, like, what am I going to do? Because I have no point of reference in how to be a husband. You know, I was
mm,
23 at the time, and a couple of months before that, I remember our pastor gave us the premarital counseling, and he
mm.
said to me, he said to me and my ex-wife at the time, he said, I don't want to marry you two, but I will marry you anyway.
Mm.
And the
Mm.
reason, he said, the reason why I don't want to marry you, he pointed at me, he says, because you are controlling, and he pointed at her, and he says, and you are codependent, and those two don't go together.
Ooh.
That's
And we
heavy.
thought, we thought he was crazy because we loved each other.
Mm.
We thought we loved each other, and we, you know, love conquers all. So
Mm.
at that point, we got married, and then we ended up getting divorced, whatever. And years later, I've went through counseling and worked on my issues. But then now that I was in a relationship, those things start to come up again, right?
Mm, mhm.
And that's what, like, I found myself, I have to work on to be a better person. And I think the problem is with a lot of singles, a lot of men and women, is that we think we're okay because we're functioning. We never got locked up. You know, we like, you
Correct.
know, we don't got no problems with the law or anything like that. And then we think we're okay. You know, we could be in a relationship, but we don't understand that, you know, triggers happen, and we have to recondition ourselves. And I think that's the
Mm.
word I love to use instead of dying to yourself and all
Yeah.
those other words. I get it.
I agree.
So I like to use the word recondition. You know what I'm saying? Recondition. It's like a bad carpet. You got to clean out that carpet to get it back to the, you know, how it looked, you know, brand new and stuff like that. You
Correct.
know, so reconditioning.
That's
No,
awesome, man.
that's really good. That's really important. Um, that you're looking into yourself again. I think, like you mentioned, a lot of people, they try to be escape artists of themselves, but you really have to sit with yourself. You really have to identify these things. And, you know, that was something about recovery that, me being a normie, right? Walking into these rooms, I'm sitting here like, wow, like regular people need this. I always,
Yeah, yeah, it's like free therapy, right? And then, like, just to piggyback off what you're saying, CP, the work doesn't stop,
mm-hmm,
right?
Mm,
And I think there has to be a continual, like a continuing work, right? Every so often you got to check back
check
in,
in.
right? I got to check in
yeah,
to make sure that I'm not checking out. You understand what I'm saying?
yeah,
And
yeah,
I think that's so important. And that's why I feel like, find someone, or like for anyone, not you, but I'm just saying in general, right? We gotta check. First of all, we gotta check on our friends, man, right? If we
yeah,
know that we have a friend that's struggling, or we know that friends have some mental health issues or some whatever the case may be, right? And part of that is, like, I feel that we should make sharing transparently cool again, right?
Yeah.
Like, yo,
Agreed.
make being transparent with another man okay, right? Like, yo, some of my coworkers, like, you know, and the reason that I share so much with my coworkers, right? There's not everybody, but I have like two in particular that that I'm always talking to and stuff like that. And it's because there's a commonality, right? There's something there. Like, I feel that wherever God has placed me, God has placed me there for a reason, right? And I could share with my coworkers, like, yo, man, I'm struggling with this, I'm struggling with that, or, you know, this is how I feel about this, right? And they might look at me like a little crazy, right? Like, yo, why this nigga's telling me that, right? But then a week later, bring it up in conversation, like, yo, I was thinking about what you said, and, you know, I've been struggling with that too. You understand? And then that's how I know that it's okay, right? I want to make that cool again. So
Right.
Yeah,
I'm with
and
you.
like I mentioned before, that's how we built our relationship. Like, I don't know if you remember from the first stream, but James told me right away what his situation was, and you know, then it was left in my hands at that point. And you know, I was so taken aback that someone could share so transparently with me that I was like, I'm interested. Like, I've never experienced this before, you
Right.
know? And yeah, sometimes it can be off putting or sometimes it can be whatever, but that's not the person for you. Like that, you know, we in that particular moment, we were
I was betting. I'm gonna be like, yo, my ex crackhead, you cool with that or what?
Oh. So,
do you
you are a real one, man.
I appreciate that, brother.
do you
Yeah,
have
man.
anything else you want to share? Do you want
No,
to talk? Okay.
Yo,
no,
CP, thanks for reaching out, man.
Thank you,
no,
CP.
no, it's all good. Thank you for your time. God bless you both, and I hope everybody, learns from you two and become better husbands and wives, or people in general. And thank you. God bless you, and talk to you soon.
God
Thank
bless.
you. Bye. All right. We got guys, if you haven't liked the video, give it a big like, subscribe down below. And I think we're gonna bring in Chris.
Chris the Christian.
Chris the Christian.
Hello.
Hi,
Chris.
hi, y'all. What's up?
How we doing?
I'm good. I'm good. How are things with you all? Looks well.
Everything is good, brother. You sound like you're from the islands, man. Where you from?
Trinidad.
Trinidad. What's going on, man?
That's cool, man. I like what I'm seeing with you all. And what I wanted to say was this, that a lot of times people don't tend to realize what it takes, or they don't tend to understand what actually holds a relationship and a marriage together,
Correct.
right? You see, like what the guy said before, somebody said, love doesn't conquer all. I believe love actually conquers all. The thing is, we don't understand what love is. A lot of time we take desire and the satisfaction of our desire to be loved,
Correct.
but if we understand, when I say I love someone, me saying I love someone is not me being pleased by that person, but it is me desiring to please that person in any way and any form that I possibly can. So that when we get married and we say, I love you, my life is to satisfy you. In the same way, when you say you love me, your life then becomes to satisfy me, right? And this is how the Bible puts it, where the Bible says, the husband body is no longer his but the wife, and the wife body is no longer hers but the husband. It's a
Correct.
love that when you stand together, you're not worried about yourself, because you know this person has your back and they will die for you. In the same way, you have this person back and you will die for them. But because because love puts us in such a vulnerable position, people are afraid to love and open up their hearts fully, because they are afraid of being betrayed and hurt. So we are very guarded and we tend to gravitate towards our satisfaction. So when we say we love somebody, it's about, you look so good, I would love to have you by my side so that people will see me with you and say, yeah, boy, you have a nice wife. You know, it tends to always be about how it will look at benefit me. You know, so then when this person that you say you love do something that you don't like, is like everything started to go downhill because now, listen, I with you because you satisfy me. If you stop satisfying me, then I don't see no reason to be with you because I will lose my desire.
Correct.
Because somebody was telling me something and I was telling them this. There's no difference between a woman losing herself. You know, you get married to this woman and she get 400 pounds overweight. Or you get married to this woman and she end up in an accident and she get burnt. And when you look at her skin looking like if it's halfway melted, right? A lot of times these things, these situations will make somebody lose that desire for the person that they say they love, you know, so that now they feel like they want to get divorced because look how she looking, you know, you can't see beauty in her anymore because fire burnt off her face. She no longer looks as she used to look, or she
Correct.
stopped exercising and she get fat, so she no longer look as she used to look. The only difference is one you have no control over and the other you have control over, but they all stimulate the same thing, right? So
Well, if I may, right, I would like to intercede for a quick second, right?
yeah, go ahead.
So I read this book one time. It's called Seven Habits of Highly Effective People, right? And in this book, Seven Habits of Highly Effective People, this guy's talking to his therapist and he's like, yo, I don't love my wife anymore, right? And the therapist is like, well, go love your wife. And he's like, yo, but I just told you I don't love my wife anymore. He's like, yeah, but go love your wife, right? I agree. Most people's definition of love is a selfish definition. I love you because of the way that you make me feel. Right? Not understanding that love is a verb, right? Do I encourage my wife? Do I support my wife? Do I exalt my wife? Do I inspire my wife? Do I care about my wife, right? Because if I'm doing all those things for my wife, she will in turn do them back for me, right? That's one. Two, I'm gonna have to disagree. I understand on the burning thing.
Yes.
Right? Getting burned in the fire, skin, right? That's one. Now, if my wife gets fat, right? It's not just about, chances are, it's not just about being fat anymore. Now it's about that she's gotten lazy, she doesn't care, she's not motivated, right? So being big like that is usually associated with some other stuff, right? Now, some people are born with genetic issues that are born big, but I didn't meet my wife like that. So I know that if that ever happened, it's simply because she's gotten lazy, right? And I may not be attracted to the laziness and all that other stuff. Now, I might tell, like, you know, I'm not gonna go and leave her right away, but I feel when you, part of being a husband is being a leader and the pastor of your home, right? So I can politely encourage my wife, or I can politely motivate my wife, like, yo, babe, you know what? I would like to spend some more time with you. Why don't you come join me at the gym, right? Because now that's part of my responsibility, right? But like my man, or I don't know if Mel's a woman or man, but I'm not loving on no moo cow. No.
No, but what I was saying in terms of that is this, right? If you see a lot of people will use the excuse she stopped things, she get lazy. But now if this woman, she is, let me say she gained the weight, but she hasn't lost a step in terms of her providing for your needs. She getting up like 4 o'clock in the morning to make sure you ready. She ironing your clothes, she cooking. When you come home, she doing all these things. She hasn't stopped doing all these things. It's like she is so focused on catering for you, you know, and making sure that you think that she isn't really paying attention to herself. And because of that, she is losing, you know, that whole thing. Now, I said that to say, if the reason that this person no longer is attracted to his wife because she no longer pleases his sight, then it doesn't matter if she was burnt or if she got fat. It basically, you don't look good in my eyes anymore. And so what I was saying is that love goes beyond the appearance, right?
Correct.
The appearance may first attract us, but love goes beyond the appearance. So the point where when I fall in love with you, it doesn't matter what happens, where we are, it doesn't, nothing matters. All that is important to me at this point is being with you and us having a relationship where we grow together. And this is what, but a lot of times people just use she get fat as an excuse to say, well, I can't be with her anymore. She lose it, she this, she that. But what I'm saying, if we truly love each other, we would always be seeking the best for the other person. So when my wife, so focused on me that she losing touch with herself, my love for her would start to say, listen, and let us think, and we need to think, and you also have to put out for yourself, and this kind of thing where I start, because I supposed to be looking out for her in the same way that she's looking out for me.
Yeah.
And this is where I see we falter, because we tend to get so caught up in things being done for us. We tend to be so caught up in self and us being satisfied that we tend not to pay attention to the other person, and we tend to neglect them and these kind of things. And that is why you see people talk about, it's like people, when they talk about introverts and extroverts, and people who give and people who take, when somebody who truly loves someone and they go to this person and this person just there and it's like they don't really love the person, but they're trying to be amicable with this person and live nice with this person, they tend to be the one that takes a lot, because they don't really feel that desire to put out for this person because they love this person. But the other person, because they have that love, they are the one that tends to put out and give because they want to satisfy the person that they love. And this is where I see, if we understand love, we will understand love motivates our decisions. The reason I do for you is because I love you, not because I benefit from anything. The reason I stay with you despite anything is because I love you, not because of how you look and how, anything like that. Love is what motivates our decisions. Everything else is icing on the cake. But because the world has become so instant gratification and selfish desire, nobody wants to give out love, because if I love you with all my heart, you might hurt me, and I don't want to be hurt. So let me protect myself and let me not love you with all my heart.
Chris,
I'll be nice and
let me ask
kind.
you a question, Chris.
Yeah, go ahead.
Let me ask you a question. Do you think that love and attraction can coexist?
It
Right?
can.
It can, right? Because even with my wife, when I saw my wife, something about her attracted me to her. I didn't just meet my wife and be like, yo, I love you, right? I was attracted to her first, right? Whether then I was attracted by her looks, then I was attracted by her personality, right? Then I was attracted by
Right.
everything else, which in
Right.
turn gave me fuel to love her, right?
Right. So you
So
open up yourself to loving her.
I think having attraction, right? I think being attracted to your partner, right? And it's all schematics at this point. This conversation is going to keep going in circles and circles. I hear what you're saying.
No, but I agree. I agree fully with 100% with what you're saying. But what I'm saying, that attraction is what gets you to come to the person. But if what I'm saying is people are afraid to open up themselves to love because they're afraid of being hurt. But once you are open to giving your heart, and as the Bible says, He didn't give us a spirit of fear. But once you open up your heart, that attraction could turn into love. But if you are afraid, you're not going to open up your heart. You're going to be closed off from the factor of love and remain in a place where you never truly love anyone because you're afraid to be hurt by everyone.
Nah, I hear you, man. Yo, thank you for calling in, brother. We'll see
Not a
you in the
problem,
chat, my
man.
man. God bless.
Cool. God
Thank
bless.
you.
Respect.
All right, we got a super chat. Can you read that? Because my eyes are
Love
going.
is the mistress of companionship. It comes and goes, rises and falls. It's just the love child of settling down in peace. It's important, but just
An
an aspect of the whole garden. To build and to grow takes peace. Agreed. Thank you, Mr. Williams.
Thank you, Mr. Williams. Okay, we got a question here from Benjamin. It says, I find it amazing how opposite husbands and wives often seem to be. In what ways do you see that God has made you different but complements your relationship? Well, we're very different.
So believe it or not, I'm very like I feel that I'm the calm one, right? She's always like, "What about this?"
He calls it my Tourette's.
Yo, she be having the Tourette's, and I just be like, "Yo, calm down. Everything's gonna be all right, right? Just be calm, like relax. Like you getting all antsy and doing all that to yourself, it doesn't help the situation at all, right? So in that, right, like I grabbed onto that, yo, don't have a spirit of fear, right, and know that I'm with you, right? I grabbed onto that and I like rolled it up and put it in my pocket, and I just keep that, right? Because yo, I've literally learned, yo, I moved to Florida with no money, right? And we good, like we good, like we're good. You understand? So, and I think God has made us very different. Like she's very like, gotta be organized. Gotta be
like, I'm very organized. I keep the house clean. I make sure like everything is in order. Sometimes, and I will say this, I'm so type A to the point where I will set my alarms for his work because sometimes he'll forget to set it at night.
But I have a biological alarm. I wake up every day at like 7:52 on the dot.
That is true.
With no alarm. I don't know why, but
I think that, you know, our similarities are similar. We have a lot of similarities too. That's why we mesh well together.
Also, I'm more outspoken.
Yes.
Right? So like for as chill as I am, right, and as cool as I am, if somebody's doing something that I don't like, I will let you know. Right? I facts. Grateful for recovery. Amen. I will let you know, right? And I've kind of had to step away from that. Right. There was a, before we got married, we had me and her father had an issue. Right. And I had no problem. Like, and I wasn't disrespectful. I wasn't rude, but I was like, yo, I need to sit down with you. We need to have like a little chit chat. Right. May he rest in peace. But like, I've never been one to not say anything, whereas her, she'll like journal it and like never talk to the person again. And, whatever, so me, like I'm outspoken. I think that's good too, though, because like I have a way of getting things done sometimes too.
Yeah, I'm very non-confrontational, as I'm not very confrontational, and it makes me nervous. So he steps in and has a lot of these conversations.
And I'm not confrontational either, but
no,
like,
but
I'll have a healthy dialogue with somebody.
And I'm too scared to have that conversation. If you guys want to join us in a conversation, I'm gonna put this in the chat. If Dre, you want to hop on? I don't know if you're still there. Let's go through some of these. Peace. I agree. Peace
any questions that you guys got for either of us?
Yeah, we're probably gonna hop off in like.
Well, let's see.
Yeah, I know. Our daughter's kicking me right now. Yes, I gotta chill out, Miles. I really do. But he keeps me in check. One fan wonders I never use an alarm. Y'all are way better than I am, because I need to set an alarm and then an alarm and then another alarm. But I want to kind of talk about this. Okay, wait, we got a super chat. Thank you, Darius. Darius, what did you say? I have to show my respect to Mr. Barrett for rising out of poverty and to you for getting out of feminism, Rebecca. Those are very rough battles.
Indeed.
Yes, they are. They are. Like, you know, I think a lot of people forget that you know, yes, we are broken people. No one's perfect. I spoke about this today in a video actually that I'm making. You know, I think there's a level of perfectionism instead of progression. And I think that if people start progressing in their relationships or progressing in, you know, how they're making changes, that's more important than perfection. No one can ever reach perfection.
Correct.
That's why we have Jesus Christ, right? And so you want to
real quick, because I know my mom probably watching. I just gotta say, I didn't grow up in an impoverished situation. Me ending up in my situation was a direct result of my poor choices. I don't, you know, I gotta make sure that I respect my mom, right? Because my mom did a very good job in trying to take care of me, and you know, affording me opportunities that a lot of my other friends didn't have growing up. Like, she tried to put me in private school. She, you know, she made sure that I did after school activities and summer writing workshops and all that. So I don't want my mom to see that and be like, yo, this boy out here lying. Nah, that's not what happened. All right. Me ending up in you know, homeless on the street was a direct result of my poor choices and me abusing my mother emotionally so bad that she couldn't take it anymore. So I just, you know, I love you, Mom. If you're watching, I hope you're proud of me. Baby shower's January 16th. You invited.
Obviously. Oh, okay, hold on. We got
add to the stream.
Add to the stream.
Yo.
What up, bro?
Yo, what up, Dre?
What up, sis?
What's up, brother?
How's it going, man? Thank you for bringing me up. Thank
Absolutely.
you for bringing me up.
Thank you for hopping on, man.
Oh man, like this whole conversation is dope, and I'm glad that you guys are gonna make this a series. What I appreciate about both of you guys, if I could like give you guys like if I can define what I see in you guys in one word, it'll definitely be growth. Like definitely be growth. Like just hearing since being introduced to you guys and watching the videos and seeing the last video you guys did together, just watching you guys, like hearing you guys, your stories. It really is about growth, and it's something that I think couples really need to see. Like marriage is not, you know, what Hallmark and Disney and all these, you know, delusional ideas make, you know, or things make it out to be. Like marriage is real.
Correct.
And anything worth having takes work, right? Like the most valuable things we have in our life didn't come easy to us. You know, it takes work. It takes compromise. It takes sacrifice. You know, it takes, you know, putting ourselves aside. And what I love about you guys is that you guys have an amazing balance of that.
Thank you.
And man. I think by you guys doing this, I think more people will be able to see what it really means to be in a marriage, right? And when they do go through hardships, and I don't mean to put a lot on you guys. So I don't want this to be something that's like, okay, I feel the pressure now that all these couples are going to be looking at us. But I think as you guys continue to be you and be as genuine and real as you guys are, people will be seeing that and they're going to be like, like, you know, I don't know what, you know, we're going through right now, but we can get through it. You know, like, you know, we can get through it.
And that's something that I try to tell people is like, yo, marriage happens after the wedding, right? Marriage happens after the wedding. Everybody wants the wedding, not realizing that the marriage comes after that, right? Yeah. We just got a $750 OBGYN bill. I wasn't expecting that. The $550 that we pay in insurance every month, I thought covered that, but it don't, right? Wow. Real life stuff here, man. But anyway, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, that's cool. So I think, like, you know, I appreciate you both. Like, appreciate you both big time.
Thank you, Dre. Appreciate it, man.
Yeah. Thank you. Do you have any wise words? Because you've been married for I don't know how many years now.
Well, no, so you know, I'm on my second marriage.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. So and the thing is, I was married before, got my 3 kids from my first marriage, and and I. All right, so
So you definitely got insight.
yeah, I got. So the thing is, here's the thing. You guys are talking about church. I was a full-time pastor, assistant pastor, while I was married the first time, and when I got divorced, the church asked for my resignation and all that stuff. But the thing is, I was a young minister, and the senior pastor required all my time. Like, marriage was an afterthought.
Mm.
So if I could give any insight based on that, it would be to make sure that your priorities are set in order, right? Like, your family's got to be the most important thing to you. And I know that we live in a time where it's all about the grind, right? It's all about getting and getting more and having more and getting more. But I think sometimes we just got to stop and say, you know what do I have now? And let me just stop for a second and appreciate what I have now. Like, do I want to, achieve more? Absolutely. But I got to be able to be content in what I have. And not that was necessarily my situation. Like, I was forced to be at church like almost 24 hours, 7 days a week. And although my family was there with me, it didn't put me in a position to be um, a more engaged husband as far as me and her doing things together. Right. Everything that we did was surrounded about the church. We didn't go away. We couldn't go away because they demanded me so much of the church. So
I got a quick question for you.
Yeah.
Because when God a lot of people, they want to be pastors, right? They think that they the most anointed ones, right? But there are the few that God calls, right, to be a pastor. Yeah. And I think because if that's what God has called you to do, I feel it's very a pastor's wife has to be a very strong individual. Mm-hmm. Right? Being a pastor is one thing, but being a pastor's wife is a totally different another thing, right? So we have a pastor from our church, right? And this guy is traveling the world like 300 days out of the year, right? He's Switzerland, Germany, Austria, England, home for 2 days, back
getting
out.
The miles in.
Right? Yeah, he got them flyer miles, right? And but his wife is cool, right? His wife is like, yo, I know that this is what God has called him to do, right? And I understand that, right? But what do you think that marriage would have worked had your wife understood what it meant for you to be a pastor?
Definitely, it would have. But you know what? It would have worked even better had I known what to look for in a wife. So I can put a lot on her, right? But then at the end of the day, I have to think in retrospect, did I choose correctly? And this isn't like a knock against her.
Right.
It all goes back to compatibility. Like, who she is who she is. Right. I didn't think about, when I was 19 and I got married, are we compatible? That wasn't a thought. And again, we talked about like prior knowledge, like who do we have to glean from? What examples we had? I had no example. There wasn't a strong marriage in my family, so I had no clue what it even mean to find a wife. And when I got married, I was like saved maybe a year and a half, almost 2 years. So, I didn't know what to look for in a woman or a wife or all that stuff. So I think at the end of the day, it begins with me. I didn't know how to choose a wife. And because of that, I couldn't identify a woman who would be in the service of God with me,
That's
like,
good.
Full force. So I think that, so yes, to answer your question, yes, if she understood, it probably would have worked.
I got you.
But it's on me because I didn't know how to choose. It's like, it's hard to say, well, if she understood, things would have been, better. But I chose her and didn't realize this isn't what she really wanted.
See, ladies and gentlemen, accountability and being a real man, right? Understanding the part that you played in that, right? Not putting all the blame on the other person. That's really good, man.
Yeah,
Respect, brother.
Yeah, but things are good now.
Amen.
Amen. Guys, if you haven't followed Harrison
Get some
Family
water.
Vlogs, I know I'm like he's parched. If you haven't followed Harrison Family Vlogs, go give them a follow right now. Like Dre comes correct with his lives. Okay, he does lives every Tuesday.
Every Tuesday, yeah.
Every Tuesday, and he talks about different topics. So go check him out. Awesome channel, awesome guy. Lots of accountability for men as well. So if you're looking for strong Christian values, that's your guy.
Thank you.
And if you want to plug anything, go ahead.
I'm gonna plug this new series you guys are doing.
All right.
Conversations with Courageous Conversations. No, like as soon as you said that, I was like, yes. Like this is gonna be good.
Thank you, man.
Thank
We're looking
If you guys
forward
want to
to it.
subscribe to my channel, yeah, that'll be dope. But
subscribe
what you
to
guys are doing is
this
dope.
channel for sure.
Yeah.
All right,
man.
Dre.
All right,
Thank
brother.
you.
God
guys.
bless.
Appreciate you.
Bye. Okay, we got Julian, and then Mel, I'm coming to you after that, okay? All right. Julian.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello, Julian.
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear
We
you.
can hear you, sir.
Okay. Yeah, I'm using a Bluetooth right now. Sometimes that's funny. Yeah, so I'm actually in the gym right now, so that's the background, right? Anyways, I don't know if you've noticed, but I've been watching a couple of your shows. I've been hearing a couple of your super chats your way, and really thankful for the work that you two have done. I think it's actually very informative. I might actually be sharing with a couple of friends in the near future. I really like that show you did with Santos just the other day.
Julian,
So,
sorry,
that was
You got something in the background. I don't know if you have a TV on or something in the background, but there's a lot of feedback.
Is this better?
Yes, there you
Yeah.
go.
All right. Yeah. So I was saying that. No, I really like the work that you guys have done, especially the work you did with Chantal Simone the other day. And by the way, I actually came into this show a little bit late, but it's interesting you should talk about courageous conversations because it in my experience, it takes two. And that's actually been very challenging in my own experience because, there have been times where I've tried to have those discussions. And, most people, I've learned in life that most people only want the truth when it's comfortable and convenient to them. And they'll do everything in their power to avoid or block it if it's not.
Correct.
And it doesn't matter who you are. It doesn't matter whether you're religious or not. It doesn't matter whether it's from son to mother in my experience, from teacher to student, from employee to manager or so forth. I've actually had women, this has happened more than once, where a woman would break up with me for trying to have these sorts of discussions. I'm just kind of curious what your take on that is.
That women have broken up with you for being transparent?
No, I think what he's saying is that, so his original statement was people only are open to the truth when it's comfortable or convenient, right?
Mm-hmm.
And when he's tried to have these conversations, I'm guessing when you try to, talk to them about something that you didn't agree with, or that you would like to see a change in, or call them out on something, at that point they were like, you know what, I don't want to deal with you anymore, Julian, right?
Gotcha.
So
okay.
is that, am I correct in that assessment there?
Oh, yeah, pretty much. Actually, I had one woman who was almost a decade my senior actually ghost me for that.
Yeah, and it's true, right? Because I think for me, like even with my with work or whatever, right? People come, like they met you, Julian, and they expect you to treat them a certain way, and ain't nobody gonna disrespect me. Ain't nobody gonna talk to me like that. Ain't nobody gonna tell me my breath stink, right? Not understanding that, I'm just trying to help you, lady. Like, you could use a mint, right? I'm trying to give you this mint, and you mad that I'm offering you a mint, right? And I'm speaking in analogies here, but people take offense to that, right? And I think my wife has said this before. People take offense when it triggers something, right? So it may be, that it's something that they struggle with, right?
Yeah.
It's something that they've been trying to sweep under the blanket,
Mhm.
right? So that's what it is for me. And I think it takes a really strong individual to be open to constructive criticism,
Mhm.
right? Like, I know for me, I'm open to constructive criticism. At work, I mess up all the time, right? Because like I said, I got some side effects from the stuff from back in the days, right? So sometimes I mess up at work. I'm really good at my job though. Right. So my managers, they call them coaching opportunities, right? Like, oh, thank you. I'd be like, oh, thank you for this coaching opportunity. Right. But my manager told me, listen, the reason that I'm investing in coaching you is because I like you and I want to help you.
Mhm.
Right. If I wasn't coaching you, if I wasn't taking the time out to try to help you, that's when you got to start worrying.
Mhm.
Right. And I think what happens is people don't like to be coached.
Yeah.
Right. People didn't want their mom to tell them what time to go to bed. People didn't want their teacher telling them that they had to do homework. Right. People didn't want to tell, their whole life. Right. There's been a fight because they don't want somebody to tell them what to do, not understanding that it's like, yo, I'm not telling you what to do. I'm trying to give you some tools to give you a better life.
Mhm.
Right.
Mhm.
And people are comfortable in their madness.
Mhm.
Right. They're comfortable with the insanity. Right. They just want to live in that. They want to bask in insanity. They just want to bask in it and swim in it and bathe in it. Right. Because it's all they know. So when you have someone on the outside telling them like, yo, you living a little insanely over there, they ain't trying to hear it. You know what I mean? So that's my take on that.
Yeah, and I would also, to add on that, I would say you probably saved yourself a lot of heartache and a lot of headaches when it comes to these types of women, right? So that's how I look at it. It's not for everyone. Not everyone is going to be open to constructive criticism. Not everyone's going to be open to transparency or the truth, right? And so, you just got to take it for what it is. And unfortunately, we're living in times right now that everyone wants to live in their dysfunction. Everyone wants to live in chaos, right? And so people like you need to exist and need to continue to speak the way that you do.
But also we got to be mindful of how we say
yes,
things also.
correct,
Right?
correct.
Like, we can't just go around and be like, yo, your breath stinks.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Sometimes you got to be like, hey, I got a mint. Would you like one?
Yeah, you got to have some grace when it comes to this too, and some discernment when
Right.
it comes to this as well.
And another thing is that older lady was probably trying to be your mom, not your girl.
Yeah.
So
Hopefully that helps. You there, Julian? Oh, I think we lost him. Julian? All right. Well,
Thanks, Julian.
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes,
now
yes.
we can.
Okay, sorry, I was just having some technical problems. Yeah, so just if I wanted to add a couple of things. What I usually try to be very polite about these things. First of all, I always speak to the person in private. I'm always very calm about it, and I always tell them beforehand, hey, if there was something I would noticed you doing that might be possibly problematic, would you want me to explain it to you? They usually say yes, but they usually don't take it well anyway. Attitude, name calling, swearing, recriminations, or they'll just, get up, slam the door, hang up the phone, or just disappear altogether. Right. And this is not just girlfriends. This is just people in general. So,
Yes.
Yeah, I took this communications class one time, right? And this was some years ago, and there's like a formula that people use, right? And it's like for example, I could say to my wife, like, hey babe, I totally understand that you enjoy doing A, right? But every time that you do A, it makes me feel B, right?
Mm-hmm.
And
The
I'm
I
not
feel
saying,
statement.
right, exactly. Validate the I feel state. Yeah, you get it. Exactly. So that's something so you get it, man. I'm sure it's not you then.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. And Rebecca, by the way, I do agree. In dealing with people who can't take honest feedback, again, when they decide to leave, they're actually doing you a favor. And
Yeah.
it's in a way they're demonstrating a fact that you can't save people from themselves, because if they can't deal with others honestly, what quality of relationships are they going to have in their lives?
Correct. It's interesting that you say that. So I'll give you a quick example. I speak all the time on my channel. I make videos that are uncomfortable for a lot of women. Okay. And so what I get called are all these different names. I get called, I get painted all of these different colors. And you just, the information is, oh, I lost Julian. Anyway, if you're still there, Julian, the information is not for everybody. And I don't, at the end of the day, you can't take offense for someone else's inability to take responsibility, to take accountability for their actions. You did your part, and that's all you can do. And, these days everything is twisted upside down. So I wouldn't take any of these things personally anyway.
No. I don't take any of it personally. I always remember a couple of things. You can't save people from themselves. Most people don't, as much as they say they do and think they do, don't actually want to be told the truth. And also, don't take things personally, because this is not the way they are with me. This is the way they are.
Correct.
Right.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thanks for calling in. We got to get to this next call.
Yeah, sure.
Thank you.
Thanks for having me.
All right.
Bye.
God bless.
All right, Mel.
Yeah, hello?
Hi, Mel.
How's it going, y'all?
What's
How's it going? Chilling, man. Yeah, shout out to y'all too. Definitely. I had to jump up on here with shout out to Chris and everything, but a lot of stuff I had to disagree with him because I heard him before when he was on Shante Simone, the way he preached about love, but it's not the same way how I see it, or even most men's going to see it, because I think he keep preaching about a passionate way, one way of love so much, and men and women love differently. We're not going to love the same way. We love differently and for different reasons and stuff. For men, it's more like we'll focus more on the respect aspect of love and everything. Women's more the emotion of, okay, my love is how he's willing to protect and willingness to damn, I had in the chat. Yeah, protect, serve, and and show his faithfulness towards me and everything. That's how and emotional comes out more on the woman's side, not the men's side, because men have to do certain things that love is not the only factor. I have to do what's duty for the family, for all of us, for our foundation and stuff, And I think his love is too much passion. When he used the example with the burnt lady and the big girl, but you just read my chat. Yeah, I'm like, I'm dead serious. Like, men, we visual creatures. I mean, both of us, men and women, are visual creatures. But down the line, like, one will put more emphasis on one side than another. Men's always gonna be visual creatures no matter what. And stuff. Women, they're visual, but it tends to be more auditory also too, and stuff. So we want our partners to be the best we can for each other. For men, yeah, I want my wife to be in shape as much as she can and everything, yeah, like supposed to, yeah, because I care about her. And not only that, you still want me to be deeply sexual attracted towards you, right? Like, if you use yourself and my package don't work because of how you change in your looks, let yourself go, then it's like, yo, I'm trying to help you lose these pounds. I work with you, but if she's not willing to do that, yo, man, like, that's how a lot of affairs happen on that side also too, and stuff. I mean, I'm gonna keep it a buck. I mean, I told my cousin, like, yo, I would tell my wife, yo, you, my future wife, like, yo, I mean, she got big. I'll tell, babe, you gotten big. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, the reason why I kept myself in shape so I could be more sex attracted. I mean, so you could be more sex attracted to me. And that motivated me to keep in shape. I want you to do the same thing. If she willing to let us go like that and not willing to hear you, then two factors is wrong. The man was afraid to tell her that, because most men are or afraid to tell their woman that gain weight and stuff. And she wasn't willing to change herself. She only kept herself in shape, look a certain way until she got the package. Now she got you, and she let herself go. And and as a man, you accepted that too long. That's why I'm like, yo, if you really truly love me and everything, yeah, like, I'm trying to help for the best of you, so I can still stay sexual attracted towards you. Like, yo, it is what it is.
Yo, Mel, are you married?
Nah.
All right. So, and that's cool. There's nothing wrong with that, right? But yo, one of the first things that I told my wife in the beginning, I said, yo, don't get fat, right? I'm telling you now. Right? And I was like, because I want to remain attracted to you. I understand that when you get pregnant, that you're gonna gain some weight. That's cool. But you got 2 months to get rid of it. You understand? I need you to, what did Mike Epps say? Snap back? You gotta get some of that snap back. You know what I mean? Right?
Like I said, I don't want no more cows, man.
Nah, but all jokes aside, though, right? Again, these are things that need to be spoken about in the beginning, right? So that way, when she starts getting big and I start acting funny, I could refer to month 2, day 26 in my notes. Yo, remember that time I told you that if you get fat, we're gonna have a problem? This is not new information, right? We spoke about this already and we agreed. That's how we made it to month 2, day 27. You understand what I'm saying? So,
not only that, brother, you know what I'm saying? Let's put it from the reverse, because this is something women don't want to hear. If a man gains weight and loses his drive to provide for you the way he did at first, she'll lose her sexual attraction towards him that way.
Facts.
So it's like the whole thing about unconditional love. No, that's only for kids and pets. I love you on the conditions that you're supposed to keep this and that for me the same way you want this of me. That's the whole point of us building a foundation together and stuff. And the aspect, and I'm going to use that extreme aspect you use with the burnt aspect. I mean, I believe in numbers also too. The possibility of a lot of people being together if an action like that happen is not as much. There's only a little percentage of people that's going to stay together like that, but you have to accept the fact, like, situations like that happen. If you still trying to make love to your wife or husband and you be looking like Freddy Krueger like that, it's not going to last. Like, her. And it's like some people might have to accept that faith, like, what I'm saying? And I hate to say it like that, but it's true facts out there, like, yeah.
No, I mean,
about to bust Freddie down.
Listen, it's true. I think when it comes to weight for women, I think that the whole body positivity movement has made it like every size is good, every size is sexy. I'm like, no. I told James, we were talking about this the other day. I said, I will never allow myself to get fat, because once I've looked at myself pregnant, I'm like, I can't see past a certain point of my body at this point. And it's exhausting. Like, carrying that much weight is exhausting. And I know that I'm doing it because I'm carrying a child, but like carrying this much weight after the fact is unacceptable for me. Right. And also too, if I don't feel my best, I know that my husband's going to look at me like, okay, well, I still love you, but like, I need to be attracted to you, And I think that a lot of women get to the point where they gain a lot of weight because they are unhappy with themselves. And that's something that most people don't want to talk about, right? Like, it's not, it could be a whole slew of things. It could be a slew of things, right? But a lot of it has to come down to, I'm not happy with myself. And so, that's when men, I think too, it's good to be encouraging in that season of her life, or of, whatever that time is, because it's important to encourage her, like, babe, like, remember when we used to go to the gym? Remember when we used to do this? Like, let's do that. Like, let's go on a walk. Let's go on a hike. And sometimes he has to even remind me now, because I'm getting bigger and bigger by the day.
Yeah,
He's
but
like,
this is a little different, right?
No, yeah, I know that this is a little bit different, but in the sense, but like afterwards, you know,
Oh yeah, absolutely.
people lose motivation and all this stuff. So it's important. And yes, women say the same thing, right? Like if my husband, if he loses his job or whatever, you know, those are reasons why people leave. So we need to hold each other accountable. We need to work with each other, and we need to build each other up every single day.
Correct.
Yeah, exactly. Oh yeah, I wanted to give you props, Rebecca. When you was on Mirror the other day with that dude, I want to try to jump back on there because it's like he had 3 women, married women who got masculine men, and he kept trying to. I gave him some game, and he kept trying to say, "Well, no," and everything. I'm like, "Yo, I already read a lot of signs. This dude's not masculine."
Yo, son, I know exactly who you talking
Yeah,
about.
I'm saying, right? Yo,
Hold up. But I don't think I don't think he is out in the open about his real issue, which is
James.
I thought he was gay. I'm gonna say it. I thought he was gay.
if that, yo, that's like the ladies were saying. He spent too much time around women so much. I have to say, he said he had his father around him, but I guarantee his father wasn't that masculine type. Like he probably was like that leaner a husband like you see in the 50s Mary Tyler Moore show type, you know what I'm saying? Like he may be a good provider, but when it came to, you know, handling a man's duties and everything, yeah, he was very lenient towards his wife. Like the wife can handle that. Yeah, like he very like, and we try to tell him like
he clicked all the check marks for gay. He lived in Atlanta.
like, oh man, yo, your man's right.
Friends.
I'm like, yo, like every time, yo, he keep wondering why his masculine male friends got successful relationships. One of the factors is they assertive. They're not overly nice the way. There's a difference between being nice and being a gentleman. And I don't think he can differentiate the two. Like he kept being too much. That was a mistake I did in my past. That's why I was trying to get back on there to school him. Because like every time now I hear a woman call me nice, that's a turn off for me. I don't even like that word. Nice. Especially super nice. Yeah. If you look up the original Latin definition of nice, yeah, it's not a good thing. Definitely. So he's like, yeah.
Yo, Mel, thanks for calling, man. We appreciate
Definitely y'all too, man. Keep it up, man. Keep it up, y'all too. God bless y'all too.
Thanks.
Yo, and I'm not trying to violate that guy, man. There's nothing wrong with that. I just thought that he was a homosexual. That was my first thought. That was my first thought, right? I saw the thing. I saw the dude. I heard the voice.
Oh my gosh.
Right? Yo, and another thing, right? If there's any women that are in the chat, I think that they'll attest that they like men with a masculine voice, right?
Yeah.
Have you ever spoken about that? Right? Like
we could talk about that really quick because you know who was talking about this too? Elliot Holzer. He's like one of the
light-skinned dude.
Yes.
That'd be like, you're a pussy if you don't.
Yeah,
that guy.
No, but he was talking about that. He's like, you gotta take it deep. When I met James, I was like, yo, with that voice.
Yeah. No, I mean, I had a step pops, right? I had a step pops from, and when I was very young, my step pops told me he was like, yo, you gotta speak from, you gotta speak from your stomach, like you gotta speak from your diaphragm, right? Don't be speaking from up here because nobody wants to hear that, right? And if you talk like this, you better be Mike Tyson, right? Because somebody's gonna say something, and you better be able to knock them out, right? So, like, if you're gonna be a man, so.
Guys, what do you want? Do you want?
I don't know. It seems like this conversation, like we're kind of getting dry here. If there's any last questions or thoughts, or if anybody wants to call in.
Oh yeah, here's the link for it.
If any last minute callers. Otherwise, I do got work tomorrow. So
yeah, and guys, we are gonna be like I mentioned before, we're going to make this hopefully a series on the channel. I want to bring him more on because everyone loves James when he comes onto my channel, and he has so much insight to bring. And
I only have my life experience.
yeah, but you have, babe, you have such good insight.
I only have my life experience. Sometimes I forget what I was thinking in mid-sentence. I ain't got that much insight.
Darius, thank you for the $10. It says masculinity is about leadership, assertiveness, providence, and protection. It doesn't include acting like tough guy and swearing, but knowing how to fight is essential. Facts. See, James? Everyone's saying James is awesome. James is that dude. Yeah. Yes, it will be most likely on Wednesday nights at around 7:30. We're trying to make it a thing, and it's going to be called Courageous Conversations. We're going to bring up different topics every week, and we're going to try to make it a call-in show. Okay, we got Ben.
All right, let's talk to Ben.
Okay, Ben, I'm going to add you to the screen.
Hey,
hello. Hello, sir.
I wasn't going to come in, but watching all the chat talk about, oh, I'm not going to accept her if she gets to this weight or gets to that weight or whatever. I'm married 21 years. My wife has had 11 kids, and she's done well to get the weight down each time.
Mm-hmm.
But you're married for better or worse, and you don't know what the worst is going to be. I've started to get a back injury. Am I going to be able to continue to provide for my family? I sure hope so, but if I can't, does that mean she can leave?
No, I hear what you're saying, right? And I agree with you, right? We do marry for better or for worse. I agree with you 100%, Ben. First of all, kudos to your wife for pushing out 11 babies. Congratulations to you both, right? I think that's amazing. But what I'm saying is sometimes
it's hard holding a hand 11 times while she's doing that.
Oh, I'm surprised you still got a hand, man. Right? So
it's all within
but what I'm saying is when the worst part can be when there's sometimes for better or for worse, we can't control worse, right? Sometimes worse is beyond our control. That's one thing. But when you can control worse, I think that's different, right? And even with that, right, because we got married under the church, we don't even use the D word in our household, right? We don't say it, we don't joke about it, we don't even bring it up, right? But I think that it's super important to, and that's like another one of those things where you have those courageous conversations, right? Like, hey, babe, like, yo, let's try to get in the gym. Let's do this, let's do that. Now, there's for example, I know that the body, especially for women after pregnancy and after that, the body may never go back to be the same. That goes without saying, right? Pregnancy does things to the body that are just completely unavoidable, right? And there's just nothing you could do about that. That's totally understandable. What I think what the previous callers were talking about, what my boy Mel was talking about, is like when you get that way just from pure laziness, right? So you got a back injury. You had no control over that, right? That was life on life's terms. That was something that happened to you. It wasn't something that you chose. You didn't be like, oh, back injury, I'll take that, Alec, for 100, right? That's not what happened, right? You were working or you felt, whatever the case may be, it happened to you, right? So that's different. Your wife, 11 children. You had a little control over those 11 children, but I'm just, what I'm saying? You had a little bit to do with that, Bob, Ben, but you know what I'm saying? That's what
Ben getting busy over
I don't know what happened to cause that.
That's probably how you hurt your back, Ben. That's how you hurt your back, man.
Ben breaking backs over here.
And they are all completely different, the kids. It's amazing.
No, that's beautiful,
That's
man.
a beautiful
Such a
thing.
blessing. I hope you guys enjoy it. Really enjoy the time you're having waiting for this one to come.
No, we appreciate you sound like you're in Australia. You're in Australia?
Yeah, we're in the lockdown capital of the world.
Man, so I'm in I go to Narcotics Anonymous, and we were supposed to have our world convention in Australia this upcoming year, and we just got word that it's not gonna happen, man, because Australia's locked down, man.
I
So-
wouldn't advise anybody come to Australia anymore.
Yeah.
It's
But
sad.
it's a beautiful country though, isn't it?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And it's not completely gone yet. We're just trusting God and just keep on leaning on Him.
That's all we can do, man.
Yeah,
Yep.
that's
But
really
thanks
awesome.
for calling in, Ben. We appreciate you, man.
Thank you so
Yeah.
much, Ben.
I just wanted to because I know you guys are not going to give up if stuff goes bad,
Right.
but
Correct.
I wanted the guys in the chat to know that you can't enter into a marriage with the 100% idea that everything is going to be right all the way through.
Correct.
Well, I had this.
It doesn't always work out.
Me and my wife had a conversation last night, and I think she got a little offended, but I don't think she totally understood what I was saying. And I was like, well, babe, we don't know what the future holds, right? She's like, well, what do you mean? And I'm like, I mean just that. We don't know what the future holds, right? We just don't know. Things happen, life happens, right? We will try to avoid those things by all means, but there's just some things that are just unknown, right? But whatever it is, we'll get through it together. You understand what I'm saying?
absolutely.
So
And
They
taking
probably
me,
said to you in counseling before you're married, if you're both aiming at God, then you're going to be getting closer to each other.
it's
The-
like the
the
triangle.
triangle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, exactly right. Exactly
all right,
right.
Ben.
I'm amazed that we can have a conversation like this, and we are probably as far away from each other in this world as we can be. I
Yeah.
think where we are is probably almost the exact opposite point in the planet to Florida.
yeah.
No,
it's
that's
true.
a beautiful thing, man. It's a beautiful thing, and I want to thank you for hopping on. Thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing. It means a lot to our family, and we would love to see
You're
you
right. You're
back
welcome.
next week. All right, Ben.
I've been watching the videos for probably over a year or something. You have no idea who watches, do you?
Oh,
No,
no,
it's true.
It's crazy.
That's amazing,
Yeah.
man.
Thank
Anyway,
you so
I'll sign out.
much.
All right, cheers, man.
Bye.
Keep on going. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks. Wow, that was awesome. All right. I think it's 2 hours.
Yeah. All right, so this is your channel, man.
Okay. I forget. So yeah, guys, I think we're gonna be doing Courageous Conversations Wednesday night, 7 p.m. call-in show, and we're gonna talk about different topics each week. We love each and every one of you. Thank you so much for hanging out in the chat. Thank you for all the people who sent super chats tonight. Thank you for everyone who likes, subscribe. We will link some of the people that have channels down in the description below, and I will also link Marriage Group.
Yeah.
I'll
So I'm gonna link it right now. All right. So anybody that wants to come in our marriage group, it's a Zoom meeting, 336-927-5154. Right?
That's the what?
That's the 336-927. That's the Zoom link. The password is 316. 316. Okay.
And the only thing is that you have to be engaged
It's marriage group every Saturday at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. It is for engaged couples and it is for people who are married.
Mhm.
You don't have to come on as a couple. Okay. If it's only the husband hopping on, then the husband can hop on. If it's only the wife hopping on, then it's the wife. We literally have people in that marriage group from all over the world.
UK,
Turkey, London, California, Switzerland, right? There's usually about anywhere from 20 to 30 couples any given Saturday. It is a Christian-based group.
Mhm.
But we usually watch a video and then open it up. But please, listen, I just put that out there publicly. You know, if it's something that you do decide to hop onto, just be, you know, one, I ask that you be respectful, right? And just be mindful that, you know, these are people that are trying to succeed at marriage, right? Be open-minded to it. I think it's a beautiful thing.
Mhm.
You know, Pastor Raymond Ramos leads it. He would love to have you folks on there. I usually just chime in and listen in because sometimes I work on Saturdays, but I'm in there. If you do
I'm in
come,
there.
Rebecca's there every single Saturday. So if you do come, she has a wedding
She's
she's going to a wedding ceremony.
All right, guys. James. Okay. But for real, guys.
Let me ask you a quick question.
No, babe, come on, please.
All right.
But guys, if you guys
She'll be there on Saturday.
If you guys like the video, please give it a big thumbs up, subscribe down below, and we will see you next Wednesday, 7 p.m. Eastern time. All the information will be down in the links below. I will do that right after the stream. And new video on Friday, this Friday coming out. And yeah, thank you all so much for being here. His face and her laugh. I know we do.
Can let's just talk about it real quick, man, because it got brought up.
You brought it up.
I brought it up. I'm gonna ask it real quick.
James.
I'm gonna ask it real quick. We're transparent. Let's be all the way transparent. All right. So my wife's friend,
Best friend.
her best friend, right? Who I love, right? She's amazing. I think she's a great person. She's having a wedding at a place called XY Plantation, right? It's not a plantation per se. We don't know, but it's called such and such plantation, right? And I decided, now this is courageous conversations right here, right?
Yeah, we're getting in.
Y'all wanted to get to the nitty and gritty. This is conversations that we have, right?
More people are joining now.
Right? So I said, we're not going. We're not going to the wedding, right? It's nothing against her, but I'm not going to go celebrate on no place like that, right? Now, if you were Jewish, would you go to a place called would you have your bar mitzvah at a place called the Auschwitz Estates, even though it's not the actual Auschwitz? You understand what I'm saying? So I told my wife, hey, you know what? You want to go to the ceremony? You can go to the ceremony because I know that's your best friend. Do your thing. But I'm not going. And I'm not partaking in that. What are your thoughts on that? Just in general, what do you guys feel about that? That chat got quiet.
Heck no. No, okay. And that was the other thing too. We had this courageous conversation about this because this is something that she's like my childhood best friend. Yes. And listen, I respect him for not going. And what about I respect him for not going, and the fact that he is allowing, I don't know if allowing is the right word.
I'm not you allowed to do whatever you want. But go say what you're gonna say.
He's allowing me to
I'm
go.
not allowing you to do anything. You're choosing.
We have to respect it. That is true. Oh my gosh, here we go. I mean, Blake Lively. Yeah, thank you. It is a valid point. You gotta do you. Yeah. Yeah. So that is our courageous conversation for today. That is true.
That's true. So that sucks that we had to end on that night. But yo, thank y'all for hopping on. Now she gonna be so upset about me. Like, yo, why you talking about this on YouTube? But yo, it is what it is, right? Because, and I just want to show, that wasn't my intention to do that. I just want that to be known. That wasn't my intention to do that. But that just goes to show that this, like, yo, things come up in relationships, right? There's differences, right? Life happens. We talk about it. I feel how I feel. We agree to disagree. We compromise, right? We meet in the middle. I'm not going. You could go. Enjoy the ceremony, right? But that's marriage sometimes, right? So
Real marriage, yes. Hashtag real marriage.
Sleeping on the couch tonight.
No, you're not. Oh, guys. Thank you so much for watching today. James, bring your pregnant wife to the best friend's wedding, please. This is what my man is saying.
James, bring your pregnant wife to her best friend's wedding, please.
Nah, he doesn't have to go.
I'm good off that one.
What does it say? She'd be all right when she cook her favorite 5-course meal. She'll join us with the sunshine smile. Oh, guys. Thank you all so much for being here. These were courageous conversations that we had tonight. Look, healthy perspective and honesty. So we are having courageous conversations all the time. Thank you all so much for liking the video, subscribing, sending super chats, coming on, every single one of you who came on tonight. And if you want to come on next time, all the things will be in the description and the links. And we will see you on Wednesday for live and Friday for a new video. All right?
Peace.
Bye.